No one person can offer all of the support that a diabetic needs. It's really important to have different layers of friendships and supports available to you.
It's really helpful to have social support in the form of even just emotional support, and to recognize that it's really a hard disease to manage. And then sometimes you're going to need that instrumental support, someone to get you a snack or juice or go and pick up a supply. So if you think of a series of concentric circles, maybe like a bullseye, right? So in the middle of that bullseye are sort of the people that you're really close to. And it's most likely that you are going to seek support from those individuals. For most of us, it includes, 3 to 5 people. It might be a best friend, a parent, a romantic partner. That next circle are individuals who you also would go to. Maybe they're friends, siblings, extended family members that you can also seek support from. The outer circle are people that maybe you're going to utilize less well for support.
Those circles are not necessarily permanent. People can weave in and out of those circles, and it really changes over time. Just because there's a season that you feel connected to a person or that you want them in your inner circle, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're always going to be in that inner circle. Just like waves of the ocean, we sort of they just keep going. Nothing is ever permanent. While sometimes it can be really easy to keep your diabetes to yourself, there's so much research and so much reasoning for actually having a community and having a supportive space to just connect with folks. Telling someone about your diabetes can sometimes be the scariest and weirdest and awkwardest. Let's say you start a new job and you for health reasons, for safety reasons, right? Of telling your colleague, hey, I'm diabetic. There are times when I may need to take an extra break, or I need to check my blood sugar during my shift that is not part of my 15-minute break.
It is sometimes helpful to say when you're sitting down with maybe a new person who knows you have diabetes, but you've never really gone into a deep dive with, of, oh my God, this is so many carbs, it's gonna spike me to the moon, or something like that. Play it off as a joke.
Test the waters. See what they say. If they are curious, if they are open-minded, if they ask you questions that don't feel too invasive, then that gives you data of their level of interest and openness. It's your party. You can invite whoever you want. Not everyone deserves an invitation, and that's okay. You can feel empowered and you can take ownership of how much information you want to share.
You do have needs, but that 1 or 2 people may not be able to fulfill all of those needs, right? In terms of being the kind of support that you want them to be. And that's where you may need to bring other people in to that sort of social network, whether it's online, a peer support group that's in person.
The Diabetes Link was the link that helped connect me to a lot of people in the diabetes community.
Most of us really want to have better well-being, be psychologically and physically well-adjusted, and social relationships are really key to that goal.
At that young adult age or stage of development, we want to be independent. Absolutely taking ownership of yes, I am managing my diabetes on my own. However, I would encourage folks to really expand their definition of owning that. Sometimes it can be about letting people in and letting people help and support.
One thing as it pertains to the circles is it's okay if somebody is in your inner circle and then they get bumped 3 circles out, and then 5 years later, you want to bring them back in. Especially with diabetes, it's really important to give yourself that grace.
You can sort of think of yourself as a person who manages the amount of support that you want, right? And we do this all the time. We know that we will tell particular individuals that we need some sort of assistance, or we'd like to talk, because we know that they're going to give us the kind of support that we are in need of.
One night I was just hanging out with my friends and we were going to get something to eat, or actually going out somewhere, but I was feeling low, and my one friend was driving, and he was like, no, Mike, I'll stop somewhere, so you could get something real quick and then we could head over. And that meant the world to me.
In the way of support and day-to-day consistent support and showing up, I could not do diabetes without everybody in all of my circles.